So let's say I'm a developer working in my IDE and I need an additional component to support my work. I will use the Codescoop extension to my IDE where it says search component, and I will be brought directly into the extension where I can do the search. Here I will enter my search criteria, including the license type. If I want to select certain license type I favor, whether or not I'm interested in searching forks as well, the repository I want to include in my search, and maybe other selection criteria. So for now we will select software tools and hit the search icon to start our search. Codescoop comes back with candidates for my search and gives me important metadata in the overview, like the name and the latest release of the component, a short description of what the component does, the total amount of commits, which by the way gives me an idea how popular the component is, and 3 indicators for health, activity, and the level of interest in the component, as well as the possibility to follow, share, comment, etc. that component. So for now we will just select the first 3 components in the list and add them to our comparison bucket, if you will. At this point, we could do more searches, be more selective, add more candidates to our selection for comparison, just to get a good set of component candidates that we are going to choose from and going to compare to each other. But for now, we are just bringing up the comparison screen. Now, as you can see in this comparison display, we give you several comparative information points to look at. Number 1, coming from the external data sources, like, for example, the license type, or even an indicator about whether this is good to go. In this case, in that case, probably you would like to check against the LGPL license type, whether or not this makes sense in your project. An indication for the security information, so there may be no information at all. There may be an indication which is either good or bad for you. You judge yourself. Information about what the community, if there is any, tells us about the component. So there may be information here, there may not be information. And finally, some metrics like how responsive a community is when it comes to fixing bugs. So secondly, we have some derived quality data, like the number of defects per 1,000 lines of code as detected by a third-party tool like Coverity. Thirdly, also note some flags around correlated data, including data from sources like LinkedIn in this example, where Codescoop found a developer migration relevant enough to be alarming. So we give you the opportunity to drill down into that information, to be brought directly into LinkedIn, if that makes sense. Last but not least, for internal components like this one, we give you additional information, ticketing system like Jira, and find out there's a risky large backlog of unfixed bugs. And another quality metric that's being calculated by a code analysis tool like Lockwood. So for further information, which is available either by Codescoop, you drill down in the respective areas, or you're being linked to the point of